I'm about to feed them to the sharks right now. Get them hype right now. Yeah. You know the ground is up. Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it, and roll. Hey. Yeah, that's the way that it goes. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game. You're feeling the growth. That's time on the mat. We put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the art. Now slap it up, bump it, let's roll.
Welcome to episode 89 of the BJJ Campaign podcast. My name's Jeff Boone. I'm an A3 blue belt, 4 stripes.
Phil Coors, A2 blue belt, 4 stripes.
Gordon Ryan update. His latest tutorial is out. It deals with attacking turtle.
That's not his latest one.
It's not?
No, it's the supine one that came out 2 weeks ago.
Why do I keep getting ads for it?
It's the only one you don't have.
Oh, you might be right there.
It's the last one for sale.
That's true. And speaking of the supine guard.
Yeah, it stinks.
Okay. In all fairness, I don't think it stinks is a good evaluation. I think that
we've watched like 2 hours worth.
2 hours worth, yes.
What have you learned?
I've learned how to roll out my neck because I'm laying down on the mats bored, and a
lot of time on the foam roller.
A lot of time on the foam roller.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is there anything
useful in it?
Yeah, there's got to be something.
Not yet.
So far. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what, man? Everybody has a stinker every now and then. And we're not all the way through it yet. I'm a fanboy. I'm going to give it every shot we can.
That yet is going to be on that sentence for a long time.
Yeah, it might take us a year or so. I feel like it's going to take us a year or so.
I think it's just you don't train no-gi a lot and stuff's not relevant.
Yeah. You might be right.
I don't know.
So
there's just every move he shows, it's just I have no interest in trying.
Yeah. It's very difficult, the stuff that he's showing.
I can't do it. I can't do the moves. Maybe that's why I don't like him.
100%.
And it seems, I don't know. Like, I feel like he spent so much time in the first one going over entries and like the initial grip fighting, which is why I think I liked it so much.
Sure. And
this one, it's just like, he's just like flying into like an X guard or something. And it's like, I mean, maybe I missed it.
I mean, I think if I was going to say there was something useful so far, it's probably the small details on X guard with if you've got the X guard that you don't have the opponent's foot over your shoulder and you have it on your arm, that you have to cover the shoelaces with that. I think like those small details and stuff, I think those are really helpful for me, but not for the cost of it.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving on. It hurts me to say anything bad about Gordon Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's really good for people who do a lot of no-gi and do a lot of like guards off their back.
Yeah.
I don't. If I'm there, I've already lost. So,
right.
You're
at least getting your guard passed.
Yeah. I call that half X side control.
Very good. So our boy Doug Schluter, he sent me a message last night that he's getting worse at jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. Doug is I think now 4 stripe or 3 or 4 stripe blue belt. Mm-hmm. And he's training regular. I said, no, it's impossible. You can't.
Is he actually training regular?
Yeah. He's training a couple days a week at least. Yeah, 2 to 3 days a week.
Yeah. I'm just questioning his commitment on the podcast. That's fine.
It's valid. It's valid. I'm sure we'll hear from him about it. But now I assured him that he wasn't getting worse, because I think we've all had that feeling that we're getting worse.
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, in and out.
And why is that, Philly?
I don't know. We're emotional, sensitive people.
We're not that sensitive.
I had it like 2 weeks ago, I was telling you, or for like 2 weeks, a week and a half probably, where every roll felt like I was not doing well. But I was trying to force a lot of stuff. I wanted to try to work out like a game plan and make that happen. And then when people kind of know what I'm trying to do and they're just stopping the same thing that I'm trying to do all the time, it becomes like not fun and it doesn't work. So I kind of just stopped trying to force this one game plan thing all the time. And then I just started having fun again. And yeah, I don't know. So, and then
so
every
you're
time
saying in jiu-jitsu, whenever you don't force it and just allow things to happen and take your cues from there and move on.
Yeah, I think there's a balance. Like, I think you need to force yourself to try to do the things that you need to work on. And if you have a game plan in mind, that you should force yourself to try to figure out how to execute that, or else that shouldn't be your game plan. I did it a little bit, and I just go back to I have no game plan. I'm glad we circled back to that. Game plans are stupid.
Game plans aren't stupid because, you know, listen, you've got your A game, right? Everybody's got their A game, whatever that is. And you try to funnel people into your A game. If that doesn't work out, then you have to just address it. You just have to move on from there. I still don't think that game plans are stupid. I think that, you know, it's good to have a pathway that you've practiced and that you feel you're best at and that objectively you probably are the best at. But adapting to whatever situation is what jiu-jitsu is all about. So, yeah, I mean, don't be so rigid on the game plan that it gets you in a negative headspace for a competition, because that's not what a game plan is meant for. Right? So,
yeah. But I would say outside of that, though, that's usually when improvement seems to be happening for the most part, because you're doing something you suck at.
Yeah.
And then either you get better at it or you kind of move away from it, but you know, can pick it back up later and it'll tie in somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and like you say, you know, we've talked about this before. I mean, especially with, you know, my triangles, whenever I started doing that, and I was terrible at them. I mean, it's just like anything else. If you're trying to incorporate something new into your quote game, it's going to take a while, man. I mean, like, you know, that
at some point drilling doesn't count anymore. Like drilling in a non-resistant class. Like, once you learn how to do it, if you're not drilling it live, it no longer counts. Like,
I don't agree with you there, but go ahead. I want to hear your point.
So the mount cross choke, like, I finally figured out, which I think is like the hardest move in jiu-jitsu.
It is, for the record, the hardest move in jiu-jitsu. I finally figured out
how to actually get people to tap when they're not resisting.
Right.
Like, people would, like, you know, when you don't have the choke right, and then after like 5 seconds.
Like every time I do the choke, yes.
After like 5 seconds, people will tap and be like, yeah, it's getting there. Yeah, it was pretty good, you know? And it's like, you weren't resisting, so it should be a little better than pretty good.
Should be perfect.
It means it's terrible.
It means it's terrible.
So I finally figured out where to put my first hand to actually like choke that person.
Yes.
Eventually.
You did. I'll confirm that.
So that's like step one, but that's the drilling with the non-resistance. So I kind of don't think I can further improve this choke until someone resists and breaks it. Like, and that was the first thing I told you is this is not going to work live rolling.
Oh, I mean, they'll break it the first thing. What are you talking about?
So like, this isn't going to work live, but like, I understand where to put my hand now. So I have a place to start.
So I'm still working on understanding that, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So until you can, like, there's no point in me drilling at no resistance that much more.
I mean, I don't...
Because that's where my next question is going to come in. Then you can go back and drill it, you know? But that's like the triangle. Like, if you only drilled it when it came up in class and then tried to do it once live and was like, yeah, I'll just wait till it comes back up in class and then I'll drill it with a guy who's not resisting ever again, you know? Or next time either.
Yeah.
At some point, like, drilling it in the class is
But okay, so I kind of agree with you on that, but here's where I disagree. Because last night, because I'm doubling down on fundamentals and have been to fundamentals 3 times in the last week and a half.
Nice. You can also extend that out to month if you wanted to.
Still be 3 times. I'm just saying I'm trending upward on that.
Yeah,
fundamentals.
I opened my mouth and then I fell off a cliff. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. And we were going over the Gracie, or some people call it the stack pass, right? And I was actually talking to Ryan about this. I was like, I'm such an idiot. I've always had a hard time. So just for everyone, the stack pass or Gracie pass is whenever you bring your leg up, break their guard, take your hand over, put your hand in their opposite collar, stack them up, moving forward and pass their guard. I was always having trouble with the first part, which was breaking their guard. Right. So you put your knee in the middle of their butt, you windshield wiper your leg out, then you raise your knee to help break the guard. Right. And if that doesn't break their guard, you reach your hand all the way down to the mat and flare your elbow, right? And push your hips back to break their guard. Pretty sure John's never said that point before in his instruction. Or maybe, just maybe, that was the first time I heard it, which is the more likely story. And I was telling Ryan, I was like, I feel like such an idiot. I mean, the Gracie pass, I think it was on the first lesson that I did in Jiu-Jitsu. It's not an easy pass. Don't get me wrong. It is fundamental, but it's not easy. But I'm like, Ryan, when does this stop? When am I going to not pick up something from each fundamental, like that's going to be relevant to actually making the technique better? And he's like, it's never going to stop. He's like, I still get that to this day and he's like, that's why I come to fundamental class, So I thought that was interesting, and it kind of is contradictory to just drilling. Although really,
I didn't hear anything you said to disagree with me. What's the first thing you do to defend a triangle?
Posture up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you'll probably stack pass.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So in live rolling, you do the Gracie pass.
Yes.
Relatively frequently.
Yes.
Okay. So,
but not from. I don't really set up the Gracie pass. If somebody goes for a triangle on me, I will do the Gracie pass.
Right. So you're doing the move in live rolling. My point is, if you never try the move, there's no point in drilling it only in fundamentals, or there's no point in no resistance drilling something forever.
Except armbar, triangle, armbar.
Why?
Hip
and
movement.
When are you going to not do that live, Jeff?
No, I am, but it's also good to drill it with the hip movement.
Okay, maybe I'm making my argument confusing. So you straight up told me you have short legs, you're not going to do triangles, there's no point in you doing them, so you would only do them in class and you would never try to do it live.
When did I say that? I don't feel like I ever said that.
So, and you've heard other people say similar things, whether it's a body type excuse or whatever. Am I making that up? Am I crazy on that one? Or is that a thing people
No,
say?
but I mean, I'm a triangle wizard now.
Right. I would agree with that.
I'm not.
But like that's a thing people say.
A lot. Yeah.
So, and there's new things like, I don't know, like let me just throw out a random example, like a no-gi supine guard. That applies nowhere to what I'm doing right now. I don't understand what he's talking about, and I find it boring and not relevant to what I'm trying to do.
Right.
I'm not going to get much better at that anytime soon, and that's okay. But like, I think people do that with other things, like you were doing with the triangle.
Yep.
And I did with the Kimura for a long time.
And you did with the omoplata.
No.
No?
No, that has come up 2 times ever in a class I've been in. That's just I've never like searched it out.
Yeah.
But I didn't try it, fail, and ignore it.
Okay.
yet. So
That's coming, folks. Highlights to come.
So my point was, if you only drill it like non-resistance and never try it rolling, and then the next time it comes up in class, non-resistance, you're like, I hate this move. This one doesn't work for me. And then you do it, and then you never try it live. Like, you can do that 1,000 times. I don't think you're ever going to figure it out.
No, I think you're right. I think that also comes down to like what Steve had told us before about confidence, having confidence in a move, right?
And I don't think it's ever going to stop, because the more you do it, the more times you see different responses to it. And the other people you're doing it to are going to learn more different responses, so that the different details he says at different times are solving the next problem you have. I think the only way fundamentals class would get boring and you stop learning is when you stop trying to do the things and improve at them, because you're not listening for the new details, or you don't have a relevant situation in your mind that's going to fix why it's not working. After you understand the basics of the technique, you have to figure out why yours isn't working and figure out your individual problem.
And the basic three reactions that they're going to have to the problem, or that create the problem.
Yeah, that's why different details are going to be different,
Yeah.
or like more important to different people.
That's why I'm doubling down on the fundamentals, Phil.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. But also, whenever Ron and I were talking after class, he was like, we were talking, and he's like, I remember when I was where you are now, which is really bad at jiu-jitsu. And he goes, I thought I was so good. Mm-hmm. He was like, I thought whenever I was a 4-stripe blue belt, I was really good. And he was like, I was having, success, that's air quotes, and winning roles, which, as we know, is not, who cares? It's not winning a role. And he said the growth between his blue and purple belt was just that, realizing how much more he had to learn, and how much less he needed to depend on his physical characteristics and more on the movements, which I don't think anyone will argue. Ron's one of the most technical people that we have, and he is a monster. So I just thought that was interesting that it feels like to me Schluter's kind of at that level of he now has gone past feeling like he knows something to he feels like he doesn't know anything, and he's getting worse. And I think that's just I think that's an indication that there is learning going on. You just,
Has he tried irrational confidence yet?
I think I'm the only one that has that.
Okay.
I mean,
I was trying it. It didn't work out very long. I started sucking again, and I was like, God damn it.
I think you should get back on that train. I liked it whenever you were irrationally confident.
Yeah, it comes and goes.
But yeah, I love it. And I think, whenever you do it, talk to your professor, talk to the upper belts, talk to the people that you're having problems with, man. I'm sure they'll be happy to share with you like what their thoughts are, because they've probably seen everybody go through this on a number of occasions, right? What, you're looking at me like I've got 3 heads. What?
I would never do that.
Why?
I don't know. I don't do that.
Yeah, you don't just talk
to people. No,
yeah,
that's weird.
We just talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah, nobody's listening
to literally tens of people.
Right. No one's gonna hear it here.
Yeah, no, I think that's a. Why wouldn't you talk to your peers, the upper belts, and everybody else about it? Because I'm sure they've all been through it.
I think I just do it differently, where I just focus on what I just failed at that specific time and try to address like what went wrong. Whether I ask them or not, I know what just went wrong, and I try to think about how and why.
And then you delay the answer for 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think that seems reasonable.
Yeah. I would say I know more of my problems than most people. I just do less about it than them.
You're more self-aware.
Yeah.
Just
I don't do
less
anything
worried
about
about doing anything about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's fair.
Like my Nogi supine guard. You'll be hearing about that in 2023.
Probably.
So
whenever you become a no-gi specialist.
with leg locks, yeah.
I can't wait. Phil. Yeah. It's going to be great. All right. So for everyone who's tuned into the last couple podcasts, we've been avoiding a subject for those podcasts.
Not really. We've had other things that are more important, like pans and stuff.
Oh, you want to talk about pans?
Okay.
How's your training differed for getting ready for pans?
Oh, I slowed down a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know if that has to do with pans or just how I feel like, what I feel like doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. All right.
So.
Gaming a little more?
Maybe.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really done much difference. Although we are going to start doing Sundays, a little bit more competition training on Sundays with Joey because he's got a
You said that was going to be at 8 a.m.
No. He's going to do it also at 1.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. I'm not in for the 8 a.m. Phil, you know that.
Yeah, I can't make that.
No, I know. No, I know you can't.
Yeah.
For God's sakes. I mean, I just won't because I like to sleep later than that.
I just saw him post for 8 a.m. I don't know if he's doing both.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
That's what he said. He told me that.
Okay.
And if you'd have been at Fundamentals, you'd know.
Oh, he said it last night?
No, he didn't. He wasn't there. He was in Charlotte. I just thought I'd rub it in. But yeah, he's got a super fight for tap cancer out, and so we're going to help him prepare for that, and that'll help us prepare for pans as well.
Yeah.
But other than that, just regular training. Nothing really different.
Yeah, as soon as I tried to focus the training for pans, it got not fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't like that.
I feel like this is one of those things where we're going to be wrong a lot of times before we're ever right.
I'm not saying it's the best idea for winning.
No.
I'm not gonna force myself to not like it. I'd rather have fun, maybe inefficiently training than super efficient drilling the same thing over and over until I hate it and I don't want to do it anymore. So I'm just not gonna do that. I don't care about winning enough.
I mean,
and I hate losing. But
I would agree with that. I mean, it's just like the kids. First and foremost, jiu-jitsu should be fun. I'm like a kid. I want it to be fun.
I would agree with that.
If it's not fun, I'm not
going to do it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't mind the 2-a-days and I was having fun, but I was like working on the things I wanted to work on, not like trying to work this one specific game plan. And once I started doing that, boy, did I not want to go anymore. So like that didn't take long.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't do that.
Okay. All right. On to the subject that we have not discussed the past couple of weeks, and that is belt testing. Specifically, preparation for our purple belt test. It's going to be sometime in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What are your thoughts?
I think I'm going to do okay. And
sure.
Like thoughts in what way?
Like, well, let's first take the audience through what we've kind of done over the past year or so to prepare for it.
Jeff's gone to 13 fundamentals classes over the past year.
I've gone to more than that. I'm fairly certain of that.
I know, Jeff. 16. So, no. So I think the only belts that Steve tests for in our team is purple, and then for black with Voice Crazy. And the purple belt test is not like, I mean, you kind of know as soon as I knew what it was, like 3 months after I started, and it's just the fundamental techniques.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I can do okay. And I'm still unsure of the throws and their names. That would be the one that I'm definitely weakest at, which lines up with everything else about my jiu-jitsu is I don't do takedowns well. So
makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I think that, first off, some people don't agree with belt testing. I liked Professor Mark Kukro's take on it, and he said, if you have a team, if you've got over 100 students, it's really hard to keep track of. And I think that's Derek's professor, by the way, and so I think they tested each belt level, right? And he said, once you get past that 100 student threshold, you have to have a standard, otherwise those standards erode. And I like the thought of that. Now, I'm not saying that, these schools that, do stripe tests and charge you $100 for each stripe test, that's not just a money-making scam, right? But I think it's reasonable to expect there to be a fee with a belt test if it's a belt test and they're spending, the professor's spending their, a couple hours out of their day, there should be some sort of fee with that. I don't think it should be $100, but I think it's a reasonable fee or whatever. But I think that's a good approach. And I understand what he was saying, in that if you have less than 100 students, maybe you can hold that high standard, and maybe you do know, because as a professor, you're probably rolling with each of those students on a regular basis, So I think that's a good thing to keep the standard up. And with regards to how we'll do on the tests, I'm sure, they want to see a good working knowledge, and, possibly I'm taking it even possibly a teaching knowledge of these techniques. Do you take that away too?
I think
Phil?
Steve said that at one point. That this is how they want to show it to new people. As well. Yeah. It's part of it.
And I think that we've been going over those fundamental movements since we started jiu-jitsu, like you said, and have been more focused on it lately in our training, and that we're devoting a couple hours every week to doing it with a group of people that are going to be testing, and even a group of people that aren't going to be testing. They just want to kind of get their knowledge base up on that. And I think that's good for the whole team. I think that there's no negative about that kind of thing whenever you consider even the people who are just newer blue belts are getting their repetitions in and kind of doubling down on their fundamentals, doing that practice. So, I mean, I think like anything else, I don't.
Well, I think it helps everybody teaching too, because that's what John always says about the kids' classes, is teaching the kids is a great way to learn. And even if it's a newer blue belt or a blue belt teaching someone else, it's where a lot of times I feel like I can do something until somebody asks me a question about it, and then I realize I don't really know. I don't really know how to answer the question, and that'll point out either, I need to figure that out or ask about it or ask somebody else. But that's another little way that we can work on teaching each other in a kind of minimal consequence scenario, kind of work with each other and try to figure things out.
Yeah. And two, like it also kind of shows deficits in your game. Like we all get into our habits of what our game is, right? And working it, even though we always try to incorporate new moves and stuff in it. What this has done for me is I've actually found some techniques that, because of this, whenever we're drilling it on a regular basis, I'm like, I'm going to incorporate that into rolling, because that's a really, I get it. I get the technique. I'll give you, for example, the reverse butterfly sweep. I never did that rolling once before we started doing all this stuff with the fundamentals. And I've gotten it a half dozen times since we started, because it's for whatever reason. Well, the reason being because I like to play butterfly guard. It comes up more and more, and I'm getting it more and more. And so, I think there's a method behind the madness of this. And I feel like that's what it's kind of accomplishing, is that, yeah, okay, we've been blue belts for me 2.5 years, you just a little under that. It's making us think about what we're doing and implementing more and possibly expanding our jiu-jitsu practical knowledge, you know?
Okay.
Have you not found anything like that in it?
That I've added to what I'm doing? No.
Really?
No. Jeff, I do basic stuff.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we all do. But this is basic stuff.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, literally that whole list is things I'm doing.
Okay. All right. Also, you know, like I said, it's if you find something, you know, that you're just really bad at, that's a good opportunity to make yourself better at it. You know, just by drilling it.
Yeah, and then you should try live.
Then you should try it live. Although I'll always try the cross choke live, but I never get it. Mount cross choke, that is.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the next things I'm chasing is that one now because I kind of understand it. But I think it's one of the hardest moves, from even where to put your hands to how to stay on top and not get rolled, and how not to run away from it too soon. Because like use it to set up S mount, or use it to like get a big bridge to try to take the back or get the back exposed a little bit or something. So I've always made the cross choke grip.
Me, yeah, all the time. Whenever I'm in mount, I do it every time.
But it's, never been where it should be.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean...
Because when people do it right, it is a one-handed, like, misery with one hand.
Yeah. Agreed. I think that should be our move of the week of the month. This is the cross choke from mount.
I've been playing with it a little bit.
I know.
Where I really stink is like being able to maintain like that the top with that one hand in. Like I shift really far away, or I try to I let go of everything and try to raise up so they turn.
Yeah, I mean that makes
I have
sense.
to let go of the grip. Like that's such a. I feel so vulnerable for me when I have that right now. I don't feel.
Well, I mean,
good.
You are vulnerable. If somebody has a good UPA, you got to pay attention.
Yeah. I feel like people who are good are not vulnerable there.
Oh, I think you're probably right about that too.
That's that's where that's like the focus for me. Now I know where to put my hand. It takes me a long time to get it there.
Right.
But like
with a non-resisting opponent.
Right. So I figure got to work on that a little bit. And then I also have to, I'm going to get rolled off. I just need to not quit on it.
Yeah.
Like
agreed.
the grip. I give up the grip because I feel like I'm going to lose it. Position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That is our move of the month. We got to practice that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I try it all the time. I'm just terrible at it and never really get past that first grip, because it's not right. But how about you, Philly? Any other revelations other than, size does not matter?
Size matters a lot.
It does?
Yeah.
I didn't think you saw size anymore. I didn't think you.
No, size matters quite a bit.
What do you mean?
Have you ever rolled with somebody smaller than you? It's so much easier.
I mean, all the time with you.
Yeah, so much easier.
I know.
Just be stronger than the other person. Feels like cheating.
That's funny. That's funny. But, I think too, there is a point where you get to where anybody who's within 20, 30 pounds of you, it doesn't really matter because you think everyone's the same size as you. And then I point out that they're like 30 to 40 pounds heavier. And you're like, no way. They're not 30 to 40 pounds. I'm like, yeah, they are.
Yeah. I mean, I can believe one person you told me weighed more, but the other person I don't think so.
Oh, I don't expect you to believe it, Phil. It's just true.
It's funny. Yeah.
It's just true.
Yeah. Well, I'm just packing on the mass though with muscle. So I think that's what it is.
You're a svelte 150 now. What are you talking about?
Why do you got to call me out like that?
Still jacked. But anyway, what else? Anything burning in your mind?
No,
I don't think so either.
And like, to go back to the testing, like, I don't understand why you're saying people don't like it, but I don't see why it's a bad thing. If you're supposed to, like, and then all right. So then to change the other thought I had when you brought this up earlier that I kind of forgot about because I'm all over the place with this coffee today. But the testing. So like the fundamental moves to me are ones I feel like I see all the time, and I don't think there's a move in jiu-jitsu that I can do now or possibly ever that people aren't going to be able to
correct,
point out. Maybe not even correct, but like point out another detail or response or scenario that might happen to even to either improve just awareness or whatever about it. But outside of just like a test of demonstrating moves, like I think that's the point of competition for myself, is always trying to test, like, what I've been doing is testing myself against other people that are around my skill level.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really like belts a whole lot, but like I do understand their purpose with that stuff. And I don't know. I think the tests can, like, you can test and work on your own stuff, but I think you're going to do that anyway if it's important to you. Like, correct. For me, it's important. So I seek out different things, and like pans is going to be extremely uncomfortable. I'm not, like, the closer we get to it, the less I like the idea, but I know it's going to be really good. So like, yeah.
I mean, I think anybody's
that's how
that way.
It's going to be really good.
Yeah, of course. Because the more apprehension you have.
A couple weeks out, I'm like, I don't know if I should do it. So confidence goes down as it gets closer. Yeah. But, I know it's something I need to do, and I've wanted to do. And I'd be really pissed if I, hadn't done this.
Yeah. No, I agree. I totally agree with you, and I totally agree with that level of apprehension ramping up. I would be lying if I said I didn't, was in the shower or something and started thinking about things and almost sweating thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to go back to the belt testing and those who don't think it's necessary, I think it's just those that don't think it's necessary may just be contrarians that because, well, and my argument with that would be, if they roll with you all the time, like Jeremy Orell had pointed out that he used to just talk about how good people did against him, but after he's been a black belt for so many years, higher and higher, he has no trouble or resistance from. I think he said, like, high blue belts would give him trouble, so he would say they're about ready for the purple belt, and then that no longer was the case, and then purple to brown. So he had to set some sort of standard in his mind. The test just upholds that standard. Yeah, and I mean, I think that's what belt testing is meant to do, is keep a higher standard for the team, Mm-hmm. So I mean, I don't, it doesn't matter what our opinion is really on it for the team. I think it's a good thing to keep a higher standard, though, no matter how you do it. And if that accomplishes that goal, then that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I felt like I left something out on that. Belt testing.
I don't know. No. I did like what Mark said when he was like, what did he say? I knew I wasn't good at it, but I didn't know I was this bad at the move. That one.
That's so true with so many.
That hits close to home.
Yeah, that definitely does. And listen, first off, it's just a purple belt. Who cares? Number one. Number two, we're not expected to be perfect at this. I mean, if we were perfect at it, then we would be taking our black belt test. I mean, I think that's why, whatever it is. If I pass, great. If I fail, I'll learn something from it, just like anything else,
Yeah.
So, very good. Well, Philly, we'll wrap it up with that. And I'm glad we finally got to talk about it. It was something I didn't really want to talk about, but I thought we should. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think because I don't like talking about belts because the belts are what they are. It's for somebody else. It's not for me. It's for them to recognize, I don't know, whatever about your jiu-jitsu, or I don't know. It doesn't concern me, any of that. If I never got another belt, I'd continue training. Wouldn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's why.
So why did you want to talk about it then?
Because I think people like to hear about belt stuff.
Okay.
Our 10 listeners are interested in that.
Okay. It's a popular topic. It always comes up in the...
It is a popular topic. I think it's an over-popular topic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, anyhow, tell the audience if they choose to do so, how they can support us.
They can choose to share the podcast with a friend.
Yes. We should run a special on the hoodies. Do we have many hoodies?
Yeah. Pretty sure we got most of them.
Okay. Good.
Pretty sure.
Our winter special. We're gonna do something. I don't know what it'll be.
$100 each.
It's not gonna be what they are.
No?
No.
All right.
I think they're 35.
They're limited edition.
They are limited edition. And we have all sizes. You can be big or small.
That's not a guarantee.
It's not a guarantee. We don't know what size.
I have no idea what sizes are in there. They're in the closet with all the other sweaters since last winter.
Very good. And folks, if you're not out there doing something to make yourself better each and every day, get out there and do it. Phil and I choose jiu-jitsu. We hope you do too.
I'm about to feed them to the sharks right now. Get them hype right now. Yeah. You know the ground is our ocean. Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it and roll. Hey. Yeah, that's the way that it goes. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game. You're feeling the growth. That's time on the mat. We put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the art. Now slap it up, bump it, let's roll.